All right. We're back on. We had a little technical difficulties. You know, it happens sometimes.
Yeah. So Native Americans. Well, I don't know if you heard about the all those statues of British queens being taken down in Canada by natives.
I heard some of that.
They
Yeah.
were like painting them with blood, like
Yeah.
what like red paint representing blood. They were doing that. They were burning down Catholic churches. It's yeah, man. I'm thinking that that's
Well,
probably what's gonna end up happening here once those
I mean,
residential schools.
it has. I mean, it has happened. I mean, it's
It has
happened
happened.
in you know. I mean, in terms of taking down statues,
Yeah.
the people that get mad about statues coming down are a bunch of they're full of shit. Because let's be honest, most of these statues,
Mhm.
they're like, oh, you're erasing history. It's like, first of all, we're trying to reinforce history. It's not about forgetting, it's about remembering the actual how history went down story.
Yeah.
And also, like a lot of these statues didn't even go up during like during the like, you know what I mean. It's the same with the Confederate statues. The Confederate statues, a lot of them went up in the 1920s and the 1950s. It's not like they are remnants of the Confederacy that are historical monuments. They went up during Jim Crow resurgence of racism in the 1920s and the 1950s.
Yeah.
uh and fuck the Queen.
Seriously. There's actually so they actually tore down a few of Queen Victoria, but there was actually at least one of Queen Elizabeth. So
I mean,
so I'm sure she
the,
got the message.
what the fuck does and you know what I mean? They like the Inuit in Canada, like they went through some experiences,
Oh yeah.
sort of with like medical experiments and shit. They went through a lot of all that colonization experience, and fuck the Queen,
And fuck the Queen.
and
Yeah.
fuck the Queen, and Queen
Fuck the
Victoria.
monarchy.
Queen Victoria, the Virgin Queen.
My ass. My ass. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
fuck,
We know
fuck
how that
you.
went down.
Like whatever. You're a bunch of inbred assholes who have been in power not by anything that you did. You inherited it.
Yeah.
They just inherited power from some crazy axe wielding motherfucker a few hundred years ago.
Yeah, well, they took it a step further in terms of like the monarchies of Europe, creating this narrative, this essentially propaganda style narrative of their divinity, how they all come from like some divine ancestor, some like Norse,
And
some
like God
Norse.
wants us to rule, so
Yeah,
that's why we get to rule. We get to rule because God wants us to. They're all inbred. This is why, like the Romanovs, like they like
they
all
look
like these
horrible, man.
royal.
They look
They have
horrible.
genetic problems. They have genetic problems because they're all inbred.
The Habsburgs too, man. They
Yeah,
were like,
because they were all breeding with each other, but in a closed circuit, and they all have
yeah,
genetic problems because they're
yeah,
inbred. Because they're
yeah,
all
yeah,
like
yeah,
at some point they're all cousins
yeah,
at least.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all cousins.
Right.
They have. I mean, it's just known that you get genetic problems. This is why you have hemophilia. This is why like the apparent heir to the czar in like 1917 was a hemophiliac who was his health was terrible. And
Yeah, I mean,
the czarina, the wife of the czar, brought in uh, what's his name to like come in and like do witchcraft to like, solve their problem. You know who I'm talking about? Rasputin. Rasputin.
Rasputin. Okay, yeah, your
Yeah.
favorite philosopher. No, I don't know if he's your favorite, but like I know that you really like Rasputin, but
Really? No, I don't like Rasputin. I think it's. I mean, he was like this crazy witch doctor that came in to like counsel the wife of the czar on like weird remedies and things to make the family survive. And
yeah,
this is why I don't give a fuck about that whole fucking uh what's a Disney movie, The Missing Princess.
oh,
You know
I
what I'm
have no
saying?
idea.
The-
No, I don't watch Disney movies.
I don't either. But I mean, what's her name? The one that, and the reason they didn't find her body, the reason they thought she lived.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You, okay, you know what I'm talking. Come on.
I don't watch Disney movies, dude.
It's not just a Disney movie. It's the history of Russia.
Okay. Well, okay, we veered a little bit away from, we were talking about
Yeah, well, I
monarchies.
mean, we're maybe going a little bit, but in like, I think we can allow.
find it, and yeah, we'll get back to it. But the thing that I wanted to get at is, what we're talking about here with regards to 4th of July, with regards to colonialism, is ultimately this system of white supremacy, and
Uh-huh.
which is very much tied to that idea of these royal families, and
Sure.
the experience
Anastasia. Okay,
that, okay,
Anastasia.
all right,
Come on. You know the Anastasia bullshit.
yeah. So
That's who I was talking about. Anyway, not to interrupt you, but
no,
yeah,
no, you're
like,
good.
like the only reason they didn't find her body was because they started burning bodies. They shot them all and then they started burning bodies, and then they ran out of wood.
Right.
So she got the good burn.
Wow. That's crazy.
And then it became this whole legend that Anastasia somehow, because they didn't find her body, that she survived and she's out there, the princess somewhere, is wandering around
In the forests of
come
Russia.
back in the forests of the Ukraine or Russia, or maybe she ended up in Paris smoking cigarettes with Jean-Paul Sartre.
Nice.